Hey, I have so much to discuss with you tonight. Today I'm going to dive into why your diet may not be working. Maybe it is working, but likely it's probably not. And there's a big reason for that. And I'm going to discuss all of that tonight. And I'm going to be jumping in and answering all questions and answers. I'm on Instagram and Facebook right now, so I'll try to look directly at you, but I might be back and forth a little bit. I've got both of them right next to me. Thanks for joining me. Let me know if you are on so I can see you, right? Tell me your name, where you're from, tell me how old you are, and feel free to ask questions along the way. I've got some stuff written down that I want to share with you, but I'm also want to make this about you and help you with any questions that you have. So thanks for joining me. And if you think this topic will be of interest to friends or family or coworkers, please go ahead and share this so we can get more people on. I'm going to be answering any and all questions around this tonight. Hi, Anita. Hi, Trina. Hi. Hey, Amy. I see you there. Hey there. Hey, Lori. Let's see. I always say this, but it's so funny on Instagram. Tell me your name if you're on Instagram because I can't see your name. I see the screen names and then I don't know who I'm talking to. For those of you new to my page, I'm Natalie Jill, and I kill fat for a living. And when I say I kill fat, it's the fat on our bodies, but it's also what I call false assumed truths. It's those beliefs that stop us from getting massive results in our life in all areas, whether that's our health, our fitness, our business, all those things. That's what I help with. And I'm also a licensed master sports nutritionist and functional fitness trainer. So more than qualified to help you. I've helped hundreds of thousands of women over the years lose the weight and drop it off for good. So not even lose it. I say release it because we don't want it back when it's gone. So I'm happy to be chatting with you tonight. So the discussion that I want to start with, and thank you to Tika, is that your name? I've got good lighting right now. That's what I got to say. So I went, and it's funny, on one of the phones has a window behind it, and the other one is angled different. So I can see on one of them I'm lit a lot nicer than on the other, but I'll take it. So thanks for the compliment. Let's see. Oh, hi. And somebody's saying, I can't see your name. You said, I can't get rid of my belly. I'm skinny with my belly. We'll talk all about that. We're going to talk all about that. So, okay, I'm see everyone joining. Tell me your name, by the way, if you're on. I'm 49. That's why I ask. I love sharing age and making a conversation around that too, because in traditional media, age is looked at as a negative thing, and I want to help you reshape that. You can be 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond and be fabulous. So tell me your name so I know that I'm reaching you with that. Okay. All right. So here's what I wanted to jump into. So why your diet is not working or not likely working. And I came up with 6 big things that when I look at the diet industry and what's going on, and through working with so many clients that come to me after whatever else they tried didn't work or failed or was a mess, these are the big categories that I came up with. And I want you to, whatever you're doing right now for your health, your weight, I want you to ask yourself, if I go through these, as I go through them, I want you to ask yourself if these things are in your way right now with your plan. Because if they are, we've got to shift it or they will not work. Okay? Number one, willpower. If whatever you're following, you feel like you've got to have this constant willpower, that sets you up for failure. It sets you up for failure. And the reason is we can't rely on willpower when it comes to our eating. It doesn't work for anybody. When you've got cravings, when you've got hunger, when you're thinking about something, you will tend to hyper focus on it until you have it. So sometimes I'll have a message that says, gosh, Natalie, I'm doing this and I just don't have the willpower. How do you get the willpower? And that's such a funny word because willpower is not the thing to go after. When you say willpower, that shows up as control, and we cannot control anything in our lives. We can't control anything. So willpower is a slippery slope. It doesn't work. It's not long-term, and it makes you feel bad. And tell me if you can relate to that. Say yes if you hear me and you get that. Because to me, it sets you up for failure because you think I'm doing something wrong because I can't stick to this. There's something wrong with me because I can't stick to this. And change in the great directions does not happen without wins. We need success. We need wins. We need things that we can celebrate in order to keep moving forward. Right? If you were in a new relationship and every time you were out with that person, you weren't feeling good about yourself, you never felt good, you wouldn't stay in the relationship. If you were in a job and you work super, super hard, and every day when you're working hard, you're not getting paid and you're never getting paid, you wouldn't stay in that job. It's no different with your nutrition. If you don't feel good about it, you're not getting wins every day, it's gonna be very hard to stick to it. So willpower doesn't work. Willpower doesn't work. Instead of willpower, I'm gonna give you some tools on how you can overcome that, okay? I'm gonna go down the list of things that doesn't work first. The second thing is deprivation. Deprivation doesn't work. Anytime a diet says you have to lay off all of this in this food group, like no carbs or no fat or no sugar, that's a slippery slope. Saying extreme to an entire food group doesn't work for very similar reasons as deprivation doesn't work, or as willpower doesn't work. When you are depriving yourself from something, you're focusing on lack. You're focusing on what you can't have. You're focusing on what is wrong with what you're eating. And just like that earlier example with willpower, you need to have wins. You have to feel good about what you're doing or nothing will change. So deprivation is another red flag when it comes to diet. It's a red flag. Now there can be suggestions in diet, like it would be ideal to go in this direction, but it's a wrong method. It sets you up for failure and it's miserable. And that's why people typically hate diets, right? Because you feel like you have to rely on willpower and it feels like you're depriving yourself of something. Okay, before I go into, actually I'm gonna go to number 3, then I'm gonna give you some help on those and then I'm gonna continue on. So the next thing is, in addition to deprivation, and I sort of mentioned this, but anytime you have to give up an entire food group, there has to be room for any and all food category, and there has to be room for you to have a life. You can't have extremes. When you say 0 to this, and I see this happen in a lot of different plans. I see it happen with 0 sugar, or 0 fat, or 0 carbs, or 0 eating during these certain hours. Okay, that doesn't work. It doesn't work long term. None of it works long term because you're facing willpower, deprivation, and you're focusing on lack. And that's very dangerous. Now, I'm talking about lifestyle eating. I'm not talking about something you're gonna do for 5 days, 3 days. Some of you are gonna say, well, I did this for a week and it's amazing. Awesome. But lasting fat loss takes consistency and it takes a lifestyle change, not a quick fix. So it's a lifestyle change. Another thing that a lot of diets do wrong is they're boring. They have no taste. They're boring. You're eating the same exact thing over and over and over again. Can you relate to that? Anyone been there? And that is hard. That doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good at all if it's boring. You need something that is exciting, that feels good, that tastes good. Okay, I'm gonna address those things and then I'm gonna come back because there's 2 other big key things and these are gonna be the key to everything. So you wanna stay on and hear these. But going back to willpower, deprivation, and asking to give up whole food groups and boring, what do we do about that? What do we do about that? What's a sign of something great? What's a sign? The reason I will say that my plans, like my Total Body Thrive, is great is it doesn't count on any of those initial things. None of those things. One of the things that I teach, and I'm adamant about this, is that you focus on addition, not subtraction or deprivation, which means you have an understanding of what foods are amazing for you, the foods that help you with fat loss, the foods that satiate you, the foods that help with anti-aging, with inflammation reduction, pain reduction. You have an education about those foods. But what we do is start focusing on how do we add in more of the good so we make less room for the bad. Oh, this hopefully is a light bulb moment for many of you. When we focus on how do we add in so much more of the good, which makes less room for the bad, we shift everything. Because what happens is you're full, you don't feel like you had deprivation, you're not following with lack, you're celebrating every day. I'm getting in more of the good, I feel amazing, and now if I want that other thing, I have less room for it. I don't need it as much. I don't crave it as much. So this is key. So the way you get around those things is you look for ways to add in much more of the good. You learn about the good. Why are these certain foods good for me? Why are these other foods not ideal for me? And I say not ideal, not off limits. Off limits it goes into deprivation. Not ideal is a very different thing. Now, where I don't want to confuse you is healthy habits and eating has changed over the years. So what you might be saying, and I get this message a lot, I'll hear things like, well, gosh, I can't, sorry, I'm hiding someone right here. You might be thinking, well, gosh, I can't, I don't understand why certain foods do something, and I feel like I'm eating healthy, Natalie. I get that a lot. Like, Natalie, I eat clean and I eat healthy, and I don't know why I'm not losing weight. That comes up. And my answer back, if you've ever messaged me, I've given you back this similar message. I've said, your definition of eating clean might be different than mine. It might be different than mine. For instance, I don't think whole grains is my definition of clean eating. I don't think whole grains are off limits by any means, but that's not clean eating. I don't believe that low fat or artificial sweeteners is clean eating. So a lot of times when people go with sugar-free, you're substituting with artificial sweeteners. That's not clean eating to me. So there is likely some gaps. If you think you're eating clean, you're like, Natalie, I'm eating clean. I'm doing all these things. I'm relying on willpower and deprivation, all these things, and nothing's working for me. What I'm going to say is your definition of eating clean may be very different from mine. It might be very different from mine. Okay, I mentioned that there was 6 things. There's 2 more that I want to really touch on. And after I do that, I'm going to give you a solution. And then I'm going to take questions, any questions. And Shell, I see your comment there. Shell, send us a direct message. Send us a message to my support or direct to Facebook so we can help you out there, okay? We'll help you out with that. Okay, so the 4th thing is nothing was done to fix what I call your FAT. And if anyone has been following me for quite some time, they know what FAT stands for, but I'm gonna share it again for those of you that don't. So fat started, when I used to say I kill fat for a living, I definitely helped with the fat on our bodies because that is something that I ultimately do. But fat there's a new definition I have for that, and it stands for false assumed truths. So when we come into a new eating plan or a new fitness routine or a new health agenda, or honestly anything in our life for that matter, if we come into it with preconceived false assumed truths, beliefs that we've been holding, if we do not shift those beliefs, we are the masters of creating our own reality. So if you believe that there's a reason that things won't change for you, hormones, thyroid, you're just too old, you believe this, you think it's your genetics, nothing's worked for you before. These are some examples. My injuries prevented me. If you believe that, that's what's gonna keep showing up for you. Until you're able to shift into possibility and solutions, nothing changes. And this is hard to hear at first, but when you break through this and realize the truth in that, it changes everything for you. So what I mean by that is if you are listening to me right now and you're like, okay, I hear you, but, how many of you are doing that? I hear you, but I have this. I hear you, but I'm this age. I hear you, but what I'm gonna tell you is that's all a false assumed truth. Now, maybe that sounds harsh, but I'm telling it to you with a lot of love because I've been there. I have every reason under the sun that I shouldn't be fit and I shouldn't look good for 49. Every reason under the sun, including 3 major injuries last year that were not workout related, freak accidents, major things. But I've done so much work on getting rid of false assumed truths and not listening to what people tell me something means that I've created a different reality, and you can too. So the biggest transition that happens when someone works directly with me, one-on-one or in my coaching programs, is we break through false assumed truths, which means you come in with a diagnosis. My doctor said I have this. That might be fact. And because I have this, I'm gaining 30 pounds. That's what you come in with, the belief you're holding. And what I do is I help you rewire that, because that doesn't have to mean you're gaining 30 pounds. It doesn't have to mean that. It's the meaning that you put on it because somebody told you that. And the reason the way you know you're holding a false assumed truth is if there's somebody else in the world with the same diagnosis, condition, story as you, but they had results. As long as somebody else had results, then it's a false assumed truth. It's a story. It's a story. Now that sounds hard to hear. I know it. Believe me, I've been there. It sounds hard to hear. You don't want to hear it. It feels good to be in victim mentality. It feels good to say something's wrong with me and that's why I'm not getting results. It feels good. And you know what? Our friends are not doing us a favor when they validate it. They mean well, but they're not doing a favor when they validate it. When you say to a friend, I was told this and now I'm getting overweight and this is this, and your friend goes, oh, that sucks. How does that help with any solutions? It doesn't. It keeps you stuck. It keeps you stuck. So you have to break through that false assumed truth to get to the other side. You have to do that. That's what has to happen. Okay? That's what has to happen. All right, the next thing that seems to come up and why diets don't work for some people, for a lot of people, a traditional diet, is you're not fully clear on your why. And I call that a DCM, a driving core motivator. Your driving core motivator is your true reason, your real reason deep down that you want to make a change. When you get clear with your ultimate why, willpower becomes not important. Motivation becomes not important because it gets easier because you're so clear on your why. One of the things I tell clients that I work with is to sit with themselves and get very clear on what they want and why, to the root of the why. Because when your why is big, anything is possible. When your why is big, you don't give up. When your why is big, your solution is oriented. When your why is big, results happen. So if you're joining us late, and I love it, Michelle, I love what you just wrote. I'm going to make a poster that says that. Please do it. False assumed truths are so real. And you know what? I work with a lot of different clients. I work with clients on fat loss, okay? But I also work with clients on building brands online. Many of you don't know that because on Instagram and Facebook, I don't share a lot about that. But I'll tell you, with both groups, both sets of clients, there's false assumed truths. There's false assumed truths in every direction. And it is the number one thing when we can change that and look for solutions, everything changes. I'll tell you a false assumed truth that comes up with people right now. I see it on this comments. There's many of you on here that said, I want to join your Thrive, but it's too expensive. That's a false assumed truth. Because what's it worth to you? What's it worth to you to be out of pain, to have your confidence back, to be fit, to feel great, to have your energy and your focus? What is that worth to you? Are you really going to let a story about what you can't invest in yourself on stop you from that? That's a false assumed truth. I'm sorry, but it is. It's a false assumed truth. People pay money for what they want regardless of cost. It's true. It's true. I'm not going to force anyone in my program. Believe me, I have plenty of people that are going to be joining Total Body Thrive. I invite you to it because I want to help more of you. But it's an investment in yourself, not me. So if that's an example of a false assumed truth. Again, I'm not saying it's not fact. You might think that, but the reality you put on things is very different. So just be aware of that. So my team is very trained with that. We don't strong arm people. If somebody says that, awesome. But me holding you in a higher place, I'm going to tell you that's a false assumed truth to believe that. Because what would you pay for the result? I guarantee you'd pay 20 times what I charge for Total Body Thrive if you knew you were getting results. So make decisions from that place. Okay, so I'm gonna take some questions, but I also, by the way, okay, if you're wondering what Total Body Thrive is, I have many programs out there, fitness, nutrition, but Total Body Thrive, this is something I'm doing once right now, and I don't know when the live version will be again, if and when I'll do that. It would be at least 6 months from now if I did another live version. But what it is, it's the best of all the stuff I've learned over the years with clients and myself and more. And we go through a program together. And this is not a download that you just like download some PDF and go. It's not like that at all. When you're in a community with me where you have a very clear, simple, easy to follow method that teaches you about this stuff that I'm sharing here on a deeper level and more personal to you. So we dive deep into your vision of what you want and why. and help you figure out your own false assumed truths. I help get those out of you because I want you to be able to shift those. I also help you dive deep into your driving core motivator because that's your secret weapon to staying on track and to having amazing results. Once we do that, we dive deep into nutrition. And I teach you, not deprivation, I'm not about deprivation, but I teach you why certain things happen with certain foods. Like what happens to your body with grains and dairy? They're not off limits, but what happens when you eat them? What happens when you have artificial sweeteners? So you have an education, and then I teach you how to build a meal that you can do eating out, you could do with friends and family. Very simple, you could do with your whole family. So you get that skill set. It's not like just follow this plan and go. I teach you. And then to support you, I also have a group where we answer all questions all the time. So any question you have gets answered. You have access to this group. And I do a live Zoom with the members of this for 8 weeks in a row. So we go deep on Zoom where I'm personally coaching you through this. So it's an epic opportunity. If you have interest in this and you are on Facebook watching this, put the word thrive in the comments and we're gonna send you information on this. Put the word thrive. If you're on Instagram and you have interest in this, send me a DM. Send me a DM with the word thrive. Because on the live here, I don't have a way to direct message back from you commenting. But send me a DM with the word thrive and I'll send you the information, okay? So that way you can see how you can be a candidate for it. And not all of you okay, let me tell you who's not a candidate. Who's not a candidate is somebody that you're like, I already got this, it's working for me. I already know what I'm doing. If what you are doing is currently working, then you're right. You do not need my help. You do not need my help. You're also not a candidate if you're one of those people that's like, Natalie, nothing works for me, prove it to me. I love you, but I don't. If you come to me with, I've tried everything, nothing works for me, prove it to me, then you are in that mindset that nothing's gonna work for you, so I can't help you. So I would tell you no, it's not for you. It's not for you if you are not fully ready for a transformation. I'm gonna say that because it's real for people. Like, it's scary for people. If you've been carrying around an extra 40, 50 pounds and that's become you, it's scary to go, oh my gosh, this is gonna go for good, really? Like, you become a new person. So if you're not ready to take that on and get those kind of massive results, then this is definitely not for you. If you're not open to a massive interruption, this is not for you. I am disruptive, if you can't tell. I'm direct, I'm disruptive, and I do it with love, I swear I do. But I am not the coach for you if that's not what you want. Like if you want just someone to coddle and say, I understand, and I don't do that. Nope, because it doesn't serve you. Me telling you that your problems are okay and I understand, I mean, I do, but me just saying it's okay, you're right, that sucks, is not gonna help you get better. So I am only for you if you are ready for that massive interruption. Yes, Lynn, I absolutely provide workouts. So I have them separate too. Like if you just want workout programs from me, I have that for you. So you can send us a DM and I'll help you with that as well. But in Thrive, I do have body weight workouts and that education around there for you as well. So yes, all of that, follow along workouts. They're optional, believe it or not. You don't have to do workouts to get results on Total Body Thrive. It's mindset, nutrition, it's the coaching. That's what's gonna make the shift and get you results. Okay? And yes, it is I love that. Mary, is that your name on Instagram? You said it's very scary, I need your guidance. Yeah, and that's a real thing, and that's why I wanted to speak into it, because you do step into becoming a new person. And I'll tell you what typically happens with my clients that have a transformation. They then wanna change a lot in their life. It's pretty wild. I've had people find their spouse after, or want to start a business after, or they change their job. Like that happens when you become this different person. So I just want to show you all a few examples of some of the clients I've worked with, okay? So this is Nicole. This is when I met her. And she was where a lot of you are, okay? Beautiful girl, you can see. Had some weight to lose, obviously, a lot of weight to lose. She was just like you wrote over there on Instagram. She was scared. She's like, I'm scared. And oh, Lynn, those Zoom meetings are not at night, but they are always recorded if there's any, and we change the time around so everyone has a chance to attend. Okay, so this was Nicole when I met her. And we worked to shift her mindset first. So we worked on coming up with what's her false assumed truth. She believed it was her genetics. She believed it was her hormones. She believed what her doctor was telling her. She believed all that stuff. She also had tried every diet. She thought they were boring. They didn't taste good. She had to rely on deprivation. All that stuff she had tried. It was frustrating to her. So again, she did very similar. She worked with me. Same method I would take you through on Thrive. This is her now. Check that out. She doesn't need me anymore. We're friends now, but she doesn't need me. She's got this. This is a lifestyle change. This is a full transformation. Full transformation. Okay? It's another client of mine. Same thing. Came to me with that same thing. Look at her now. What? Incredible. I've got countless of these. Countless of these. So, look, here's, I know Landa's watching. Landa, I'm going to show you a picture. This was Landa. I met her. She couldn't wait to fit into this. This was her vision. Look at her. Hottie over here. Amazing. So my question to you is, are you ready to decide and do this with me? You don't have to. I'm not going to twist your arm, but I start on Monday. And this is for you if you're ready to shift this. If you're ready to take a step in the right direction and decide, oh, I didn't tell you the best part. Especially for you worried about money and this is scary for you. Here's the best part. Results are guaranteed. Meaning, if you show up and you do the work with me, you show up, you participate in the group, you participate in the method, you take this full on 100% and you don't get results, I don't deserve to get paid, which means you get your money back. How about that? So the risk is all on me, not you. The risk is all on me, not you. So you've got truly nothing to lose by doing this. So I want you to, if this is appealing to you, I want you to think of things from the place you're going, not from the place you are right now. I want you to think of things from you 2 months from now. When you've lost about 20 pounds and you're headed in the right direction. Your focus is great. Your energy's there. Your confidence there. You're in a good freaking mood all the time. You're not hungry. You're not feeling deprived. You are happy. You're connected. You're feeling amazing. What decision does that person make? You see, one of the key things that we all get to learn is we have to act as if we have to act like the person we want to become first. That person would absolutely say yes to Thrive. So make a decision from that place. So if you are in the comments right now, if you didn't do it already and you are like, give me more information, write the word Thrive on Facebook. If you're on Instagram, you send me a DM later, but write the word Thrive and we're going to send you information. In fact, I made a little video that I'm going to send you to tell you what it is. You'll get that on your in your messages on Facebook. Figured out the tech piece there. I'm just kidding. I have somebody on my team that figured out that tech piece there to get that to you right away. So I'm excited to get that to you. But if you're a quick start and you're like, Natalie, I am in, I want one of those spots, because we are almost full, by the way. If you're like, I'm in, I want one of those spots, and you don't even want to wait for the message from me, go to www.totalbodythrive.com. If you go to totalbodythrive.com, you can lock in your space right now. That easy. Yay, Diana says she's signed up. Yes. Marilyn, I see you on Instagram. You either go to totalbodythrive.com or send me a DM after this, because unfortunately, as soon as the live is done on Instagram now, it goes away. On Facebook, I'll pin it to my page so it'll stay up there. Okay? Yes. All right, ladies. And guys too, I see some of you on here. Any questions for me? I want to make sure I'm answering anything that you've got. Otherwise, we'll wrap up here in a few minutes. But if you have any questions for me, let me know. Ashley says, I so need this. Awesome, Ashley. Michelle, hi. A lot of you putting Thrive. Thank you. And we'll make sure we send that to you. We are going to cut off registration as soon as it's full, because I do have a number because everyone that joins Thrive, by the way, you're going to fill out an intake form when you join, so I can get to know a lot more about you. And me and my team can only manage a certain amount, right? We want to be able to fully help you. So that's why we have to cap the number on this. Hi, Bella. She says, why are Whole Foods not clean? Whole Foods are clean, Bella. So are you asking like specifically about grains and dairy, how I mentioned that? And then there was a question that this is just for women. Okay, let me answer both those. So no, it's not just for women. It's not just for women, Maddie. So, okay, I am a 49-year-old female. So just being transparent, I don't feel I know a man's body the way I know a female body. So I speak mostly to women, 40s, 50s, and beyond. Doesn't mean someone in their 60s or 30s can't do it, but where I am in life right now, that's who I tend to attract. I have definitely helped men. So this program will work for men, absolutely, too, as long as you're not offended by pink, because you'll see when you go there, I have a lot of pink. But, and other than that, yes, I always have a few men in my programs, and I'm happy to help you. So it's not only for women, but if you are a female, yes. Somebody's asking, can I join from the Netherlands? Yes, you can join from anywhere in the world. The only thing that might be different for you is when we do our live Zoom calls, the timing might be off. But what I do is I move the time and the day around each week. That way there's always an opportunity to attend one of the calls, and we record every single one of them. And we take and answer all questions, even if you can't be on the call. Like there's an opportunity to ask your questions. So yes, absolutely. Okay, your Whole Foods question. No, I have I teach unprocessed natural real foods, but there's some stuff that happens in your body with grains and starchy carbs and dairy. I do not eliminate them from my plans. I want to be clear, but I'm going to teach you more about them in the program so we can start to shift things for you. In fact, I have 2 different types of plan options when you join. So I work with you, whether you are advanced or you're starting out, I have different levels and different layers to it. Awesome. Let's see. Any more questions? And Liana, I see you on. If there's any more questions that I missed, if you want to shoot them out here, I'll see your comment. Let's see. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything swelling up. Okay. I think I got them all. All right. Well, thanks for chatting with me tonight. Okay. So just to kind of recap, we went over the 6 different things. If you're coming in late, you can go to the beginning of this video. It'll live live on my Facebook after. I went over the 6 things in the gap on most diets. And just from that information alone, you could probably start to shift things. And then I shared an opportunity to work directly with me where I'm going to coach you through this in an epic experience that's simple, easy, and fun, and results are guaranteed. So the only thing you have to be thinking about with that is, how am I going to feel in my new body? Dang, because you're going to be feeling amazing. And what are you going to do with that when you have your confidence back and you have your energy and your focus and you're not so stuck on not liking your body? I want to get you out of that. I want to help you with that. I just want you to know that you're not too old. You're not too late. I've heard every excuse. I've had every excuse. I get you. I seriously get you. I'm 49 years old. Look, nothing against 20-year-olds. I love you. But I'm not a 20-year-old that just hasn't lived my whole life and done all these things and had things happen. So I get you. I've had a baby. I've had injuries. I've had all kinds of things. I have an autoimmune. I get you. So I've been there. But I'm telling you, there's so much power on the other side when I help you break through those false assumed truths and I get you solutions and I help you see how simple and easy and fun this can be. All right. I hope to see more of you in there. If you have any questions at all, I'm here for you. You can message me on Instagram. You can message us on Facebook. You can send a message direct to my website at support@nataliejillfitness.com. If you know you're in, you can go to totalbodythrive.com and grab your spot and reserve that. If you want us to send you the information and you're on Facebook, put Thrive in the comments and I'll see that. All right. Thanks, everyone.